Welcome back to my top 100 games so far. This is part 4. We are covering numbers 70 to 61 today. So without further ado, number 70, Race for the Galaxy. Card drafting game. Classic. A game that I had traded away, played on the computer a bunch. Haven't reacquired, but have people who have it, so I play with them. And with that, I still get to play it every so often. And so with that, I get to play it as much as I feel that I need to, and that's okay. Race for the Galaxy got a little bloated with expansions, and when you add in a mechanic that shows up on like 4 cards out of 300, it's not really a mechanic. You gotta prune cards out or add in a bunch of cards in order to really make it happen. So I don't know what the real justification for that is. And I'm talking about takeovers and player interaction. But core Race for the Galaxy, and maybe even the first expansion with goals and stuff, that is a game that presents a ton of really cool strategies, a ton of player interaction in a subtle way, figuring out what phases players are going to choose and either deciding to go with it or be a little unpredictable and maybe play off of what they're doing to get the best of what you can get. That is the trick to the game. So it's not always easy, but boy, if you can read other people and start to figure stuff out, you will be in a super good position in Race for the Galaxy. Number 69, Roll Through the Ages. I'm specifically referencing the Bronze Age, although I do like the Iron Age. I just haven't played that enough to put it here. So the Bronze Age with the expansion, just because I like it. Now, I was very fortunate. I got this from a Secret Santa who took 4 sheets and laminated them. And my goodness, that is such an easier way to play this game. For one, I don't have to lug around the score pad. I just have 4 laminated sheets and 4 markers. But Race for the Galaxy, Civ building in a dice game, in and out, 45 minutes. Maybe even less. Depends on if people know what they're doing or not. And I'm teaching this game more often than not, so it tends to be 45 minutes. And that's okay with me. When people know what they're playing, 30 minutes, the expansion takes it up again. But that's not a problem. This is still really good Civ building in a short time, under an hour. And really, really well done. Very balanced game, and hard to ask for much more. Number 68, Werewolf Inquisition. This is a game that plays, I think, even down to 3 people, but plays really well with like 5 to 7 people. And that's not numbers that Big Werewolf talks about. I'll get to full Werewolf here in a couple of minutes. But Werewolf Inquisition takes some of the roles from Werewolf and puts it into a town. You're still trying to eliminate the werewolves if you're a villager, or eliminate the villagers if you're a werewolf. You have roles that help you do it. You have voting cubes to help you get rid of things. The werewolves get a night phase to kill villagers. But it's all done with cards. No need for a moderator. And it's a good balance. There's a lot of interaction in terms of, hey, I know some stuff. You got to figure out if you trust me or not. There's, hey, I think we should go here. I don't think so. I think we should go over here. And when you have those things, you start to learn what people do. And the more people play, you figure it out. And because it's a smaller player count, you really pay attention to what everyone knows, why they're saying it, and what you know about every person. So that's a good thing. Number 67 is Fuse. Now, this is a newer game, just came out on Kickstarter a couple weeks ago. Friend Corey got it. And it's a real-time co-op dice rolling and placement game. It has some tweaks and some flaws that don't make it perfect. But, wow, is this game tense and exciting, and it's just, whew. You're using dice to place on cards, and these cards are representing bombs that you're trying to defuse. But that's not necessarily the important thing. You roll one die for every player in the game, and every player has to take one of the dice. And if you can't do that, then you roll that die, and every player has to remove a die that matches the number or the color that you roll. And, oh, that's such a tough sell. It's like, oh, I'm going to lose the things that I just got. Like, come on. Like, oh. Fuse is tough. I think I've played it about 5 times and we've won once. Like, yeah. The game should be a little longer or have one less card you have to get through or something. But it's a challenge, and it's a challenge I want to keep working on because I feel like every time I play it, I learn something more about how to do well at the game, and it keeps me coming back to it. And anytime I have that, I'm intrigued, and I want to keep going because I don't like the game that just keeps beating me down. So, Fuse, very good challenge, very hard game, but ways to make it easier. All right, number 66, the aforementioned Ultimate Werewolf. This is the big party game. This is the get 12 to 20 people in a room together, give them all roles, get a moderator who knows what they're doing, and let everybody loose and have fun, killing each other and yelling and arguing and going, no, you're the werewolf. You were the one that was up at night. Only you would be so vicious as to kill him on the first night. Come on. He's a nice guy. What did he ever do to you? Yeah. People who kill me on my birthday. First night. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. It's a game. It's all just a game. You have fun. You laugh about things. It's werewolf is a very silly thing, and a lot of social dynamics, and it's a good interaction. It's a lot of fun for a lot of people, and yeah, the player elimination stinks sometimes, and yeah, you go, oh, why did that happen? But you know what? I have fun. I have fun playing it, and that's okay. Number 65, Smash Up. Now, this is a game when I first got it, I was like, oh, okay, cool mechanics. The premise is you have a bunch of decks of cards between zombies, aliens, pirates, plants, that's an expansion, ghosts, princesses, cats. Basically, with all the expansions that are out, you name it, there's a deck for it. And you take 2 of them, you put it together. That's the smash up portion. Now, you have minions and you have actions. You get to play 1 minion on a turn, you play 1 action on a turn. You don't have to play both, you don't have to play either. but you can play one of each. And you do that, and you're competing over bases, areas of play. And minions have strength, and when they have a certain amount of strength on a base, the base scores. You have the most, you get more points. You have second, you get points. You have third, you get points. It's fairly simple, but cards have text, and text messes with things. And no two games of this are ever going to be the same, even if you used the same decks amongst the players, you'd have different combinations. Even if the same players used the same two decks mashed together, they'd still be different because people would play things in different ways. So Smash Up is a ton of fun. It works really, really well. It can bog down a little bit with 4 people just because of how much there is to track. But it works surprisingly well as a 3-player game. And for that reason, it's on the list, and it's as high as it is. So, Smash Up, good game, fun game. Check it out if you like chaos and a little bit of theme, or a lot of theme, that's kind of silly sometimes. Number 64, Shadow Hunters. This is a game that is best with like 7 or 8 people. And it's a team game. You have shadows, you have agents, and you have neutrals. Neutrals all have their own win conditions. Shadows are trying to kill the agents, and the agents are trying to kill the shadows. And the thing is, you don't know who anybody is. You know who you are, and you go places, and you can learn things. And you get cards, and there's cards like, if you're an agent or a neutral, do this. So if you're a shadow, you wouldn't do it at all. And you can't lie when those happen. You have to do the thing if it fits. And there's cards that give you equipment that let you do things better, and there's a pretty easy combat system. You roll a d4 and a d6, and you take the difference, and you do that much damage to somebody. Shadowhunters is not a complicated game. It's fairly straightforward. And you go until one team meets their win condition or one neutral meets their lone win condition. And it's really interesting. I like what it has to offer. And I think if you do get, 6+ people who can all kind of handle that dynamic of, hey, we're here, we're all kind of fighting for ourselves, but we're going to learn stuff that helps us interact better, then you're in a good place, and Shadowhunters can be a lot of fun. 63, bottom of the 9th. I love baseball, as you can see from the shirts that are in these videos. Bottom of the 9th is probably the first game that's done baseball well to me. I haven't played Baseball Highlights 2045, and I want to fix that someday. But bottom of the 9th is just what it says. It's a half inning of baseball. One player is the pitcher, one player is the batter, or a series of batters, and you are playing until either 3 outs happen or a run scores. Not entirely thematic, because if it's the bottom of the 9th, somebody should have a lead in order to win. Otherwise, you're going to extras if nobody scores. Or if 1 run scores, extras. But nevertheless, this is, if nobody scores, pitcher wins. If 1 run scores, the batter wins. And that's a lot of pressure. You can certainly extend bottom of the 9th to be a full game. You could play 2 half games, or 2 full games, and do top of the 9th and bottom of the 9th. And that would be a good thing. There's a ton of guessing. It essentially amounts to a guessing game. You do a pitch, and you have 2 discs that are choices. High, low, inside, outside. And both players make that choice. The pitcher, where they're pitching the ball. The batter, where they think the ball will be pitched. and the pitcher gets what the batter doesn't guess, the batter gets what they guess. And based on who gets what, different stats activate. And that changes things. And then there's a roll to see if it's a hit or a possible hit or a ball or a strike. And then if it's contact, both players roll until they roll a 5 or a 6, or maybe it's just a 6, and then you shout safe or out, and whoever does that first is either safe or out. And it's a good game. There's maybe some silliness there, but you know what? It's baseball. It's meant to be fun, and I really like Bottom of the Ninth. I think that there's a ton of variety there with all the characters that exist in the game, and yeah, Bottom of the Ninth, tons there. Want to see more, want to play this more. I like it. I could see this going up a lot on my rankings if I get the right plays of it. So, cool game. Love it. Want it. Number 62. Hare and Tortoise, the Tales and Games version, the storybook. This is the racing game where you've got the hare, the tortoise, and then their friends, the fox, the wolf, and the lamb. And it's a lot of fun. You get one of the 5 dictated to you that you're supporting, and then you get to pick another one or the same one that you're backing in the race. And then you play cards, and you move characters based on what gets played. And it keeps going until either 8 cards get played or 4 of the same animal, and then the race gets run. And every animal moves differently, and I won't go through how all the animals move, but ultimately you're trying to get your animals to finish the race first and give you points. And how you get points is all there. So what I've enjoyed most is running the race like 2 or 3 times, and whoever gets the most total points is the winner, because sometimes you get bad card hands and there's nothing you can really do, and so okay, fine, we'll redo that, and you can try again next time. And there's a lot of variety. The track is always the same, but how you set it up in terms of where you place the streams, which matter for the lamb, that can vary. So, yeah, I like this game. I haven't gotten to play it much recently, but I will still pull it out with friends for a nice filler game. It's a game I can play with my family, and that's always a nice thing to have. So, Hare and Tortoise, the storybook game, cool game. And number 61, the last game for this video, X-Wing Miniatures. Yeah, X-Wing. I do enjoy Star Wars. I'm more of a Star Trek fan, but I do enjoy Star Wars. And X-Wing is a really cool game. I love the mechanics in it. I love the flight pass system. You'll see Star Trek Attack Wing higher on my list. Kind of obvious if you see that this is the Shipyard video when I do a Star Trek Attack Wing podcast. You kind of know that it was coming. But X-Wing, flawless miniatures. Can't say a bad word about those. And great card design, great ship design, great pilot abilities, beautiful balance in the game. I envy what X-Wing has. The thing that gets me is that it's not as deep for missions. There's not the same story there, and there's not the variety of ships that I want. I got tired of buying the same ship 4 times because I needed that one upgrade 4 times in order to make the fleet that I wanted to make, or that I wanted 4 of the same ship. And I know that's not necessarily as true now, but I kind of stopped buying X-Wing after the Scum faction came into play, and I like the addition of it. I just kind of, I said, I gotta pick something. So I love the flight path system. I love flying ships around the board. I love that you have ship-to-ship combat. Um, X-Wing just gets a little dicey for me. You know, who's going to get hot dice? And yeah, 61 is still a great game to me. I love it. If somebody said, hey, do you want to play X-Wing for fun? I would be all over it. I will break my stuff out, get it set up, and we'll have fun playing. Um, I'm just not going to go seek out tournament play at this point. So, yeah, I enjoy X-Wing. That's where I'm at. And yeah, thank you guys for watching part 4 of my top 100. And we'll see you tomorrow with part 5. So until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care.